Hi everyone, wishing you a very good morning. I hope I am audible and visible. Suman, good morning. Good morning, Deepak. Great. Good morning, Swati. Good morning, Ganesh. Sainath, how are you, beta? I hope everything is fine at your end. I am fine. See, I'm looking fit and fine as always. Smiling, happy. You must remain like this. Life is all about overcoming the hurdles that you face and stay happy. Again, I'm getting some messages on this ID. Dinesh, don't send me message on this ID, beta. Hannah, good morning. I can't see messages on the ID. So again, I'll repeat, if you have to send any message, send it on the ID, everyone, so that everyone can see. Maini, good morning. How are you, beta? If you want to send a personal message, you can send it on the ID Astik. Great. Don't send it on the ID Astik Udenia because I'm not able to. I'm fine, Maini. See, I'm always happy and everyone is not available, Deepak, so you can send it to the ID Astik, okay? Settings keep on changing, technology is not one thing that I'm very good at. I somehow manage stuff. Again, keep your videos off, otherwise you might have some lag in the video and your video might struck, you might stuck at a place or you might not see the screen on all these things will happen. Sit in a place, good morning Santosh, where you have good reception. For that you can have a seamless experiment experience of learning. Now as you can see, we are done with our motion in two dimension, motion in one dimension, and we have moved on to this very fascinating topic, the topic that most of the students are scared about, relative motion. What is relative motion? Anyone give me your idea, give me your thoughts on this concept of relative motion. What do you understand by this relative motion? Anyone? Relative motion. Have you heard this term, relative motion, relative velocity, or things of this nature? Anyone knows about it? Good morning, Siri. Yes, Siri, doggy, potty. We are discussing relative motion. What are your thoughts on relative motion? What do you think is relative motion? Any idea, anyone? No one? New chapter. It's a new chapter, but what do you know about relative motion? That was my question. The question was not whether it's an old chapter or a new one. Whether you know anything about relative motion, the motion of a body with respect to other body. Yes, Yashwant. Now, is the right definition. That was the definition that I was expecting to get. The next question is this something new? Yes, Hannah. Motion is relative or with respect to someone else. Relative motion, is this a new chapter in the sense that we have not read relative motion before? Is this something new that you'll have to learn something from scratch, something new? No. So Anak has already said no, this is not a new thing. That means if Anak is correct that it is not a new thing, we must have studied relative motion in the previous chapter. Now the question is where? If we have studied relative motion in the previous chapter, what Hanak feels, where we have studied it and how we have studied it. That is the next question. If we have studied it, how and when and where? Your thoughts. How many of you, with your raised hands, agree with Hanak that we have studied relative motion? Hanak, I am voting for you. I'm asking students to vote for you and see how much Hanak is popular or Hanak's opinion, how much it is popular. 6 people agree with Hanak's opinion. Hanak's opinion is that we have studied relative motion and only 6, 8, 8, 9 students, 10. Oh, Hanak, you are getting more popular these days. 10 students feel that Hanak is correct. 39 participants, including me, maybe, and office people who are still in the group. So there are 49 participants, including all of us. 10 people feel that Hanak is correct. What about the others? Let me wake everyone up. Tarun, Goli, I don't know where are you these days. Praveen, Shashank, Suman, Manasa also doesn't respond. Ashish, Vijay, Venkatesh, I think you are new Venkatesh. Tarun, Harshita, Surendra, Pawan, Siddharth, Sai, Reddy, Sanjay, Padmakant, Dinesh, Sainath, Likita, Kevin, Josana, Jai Shankar, where are you? Jagdish, Santosh, Anjali, where are you? Maruti, Anil. 18 people now agree that 20 people now agree, 21, 22 people now agree that Hanak is correct. Wow. So Hanak, if this was an election, you would have won. 43 out of 40, 23 out of 49, you would have won hands down. But do we really understand it? What Hanak has said is correct or no? So I'll give Hanak a chance to explain. Hanak, I would ask you to unmute yourself. Where is Hanak? Where is Hanak? Where is Hanak? Where is Hanak? Oh, disappeared from the chat. Hanak has disappeared somehow. I can see. Hanak, I have asked you to unmute. Tell me, why do you think that we have studied relative motion? Where we have studied it and how we have studied it? You can unmute yourself. I have allowed you to unmute.
Good morning, sir. Hello.
Hanak has disappeared. He is not able to unmute. Hanak, can you unmute yourself, beta? Disappeared. I can't find him. Hanak, where are you? I don't see you. Hanak is here. Okay, Hanak. Again, I've enabled you. Speak.
Sir, once you told one example, sir. A person on a bus.
Okay, he is probably not able to connect. I don't know why. Relative motion. Now, I must tell you the right answer. Relative motion, we have already studied relative motion. He is speaking, but I can't hear him. Oh, just a moment. My speaker was off. Hanak, you are there? Oh, sorry, my speaker was off. Oh, I'm sorry. I just could not. Hanak, are you there? My speaker was off. I was not able to hear him. I don't know why I put my speaker off. Hanak, I'll again allow you to speak. Yes, speak now.
Sir, once you gave an example, sir.
Which example, Hanak?
A person on a bus and another person on a road. And motion is relative to one other person.
Okay, so you remember that example where two people were sitting in a bus and they were seeing each other and they were looking at each other and they were saying, oh, we are at rest, but to someone on ground, they were in motion. So that was the example of relative motion, Hanak, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, great. Good one, Hanak. That is definitely an example of relative motion, what Hanak is saying. What Hanak is saying is definitely an example of relative motion. Someone sitting in a bus, passengers sitting in a bus, they look at each other, they see each other at rest. But someone on ground watches the bus go by, he definitely sees the bus moving. And if you remember when we talked about the concept of rest and motion, I said a very important thing. Rest and motion are what type of terms? I said rest and motion both are relative terms. Rest and motion both are relative terms. By relative, what I mean and what Einstein said, that nothing in this universe is absolute. There's no absolute truth. There's no absolute thing. Even time is not absolute. Time is relative. If you move fast enough, time will get slow. So nothing is relative. When you look at the stars, I told you that day, Alpha Centauri is the closest star, but it is still 4.5 light years away from us. So the Alpha Centauri of right now, what you see is not the Alpha Centauri of right now, it's the Alpha Centauri of 4.5 years back. The sun that you see Light takes 9.5 minutes to come to Earth. The sun that you see is not the sun of present. It's the 9.5 minute old sun that you see. So time is also relative. Nothing in this universe is absolute. Everything is relative. Rest and motion are also relative. That is one aspect of the story. The other aspect of the story, which I wanted to ask and which I wanted to emphasize on, is the question itself: have we studied relative motion before? Hanak said, yes, we have studied it before. 23 students, if I remember correctly, were agreeing with Hanak. In fact, I will go to an extent of saying that whatever we have studied till now, in motion in 1D, in motion in 2D, projectile motion, horizontal projectile, this, that, equation of trajectory, anything, everything that we have done till now, we have studied relative motion. Everything was relative motion only, nothing else. There are two reasons why I say so. That everything up till now was relative motion. The first reason is very obvious, which is right now on your screen. Rest and motion. At the end of the day, we were studying either rest or either motion. Rest and motion are relative terms, so we were studying relative motion throughout, because we were studying either rest or motion, and they are relative terms. So we were studying relative motion till now, but I'll give you a more compelling evidence that we were studying relative motion till now. Now, when we said that I throw a ball upwards with a velocity 5 meters per second or 10 meters per second, or I throw the ball at an angle, or I go up to a tower and throw the ball like this with the initial velocity u, making an angle theta, it will go up, go down. We were talking about relative motion. When we were talking about the velocity of this ball, which we called it as u or v or anything, this velocity u, the initial velocity of the ball, was with respect to something that we never spoke of. It was relative velocity. It was relative velocity. With respect to what is the question now? When I said it is thrown with a velocity 20 meters per second, or Neeraj Chopra, he threw that javelin at a velocity of 29 point something meters per second, it was also relative velocity. It was also relative motion. That velocity was relative to what? Or this velocity is relative to what? This velocity is relative. Instead of using the word relative, I will use the word respect. This velocity is with respect to Earth or ground. We had thrown this body, this ball, this mass with respect to ground. So whatever we were studying till now was relative motion, but that relative motion was always with respect to Earth or with respect to ground. Am I clear what we were doing up till now? When I said a car is moving with a velocity of 20 meters per second, Einstein said, remember, nothing is absolute. Everything is relative. Everything is with respect to something. With respect to something. Every motion is relative motion. Every rest is relative rest. So when I was saying velocity of the car is 20 meters per second, what I actually meant? What did I mean to say? Anyone tell me what I meant when I said the velocity of the car is 20 meters per second. What I meant by that? What I meant by that was the velocity of the car is 20 meters per second with respect to Earth or with respect to ground. We were studying its motion, or we were studying its relative motion with respect to Earth or ground. I will repeat. Up till now, whenever we talked about velocity, that velocity was relative velocity. That motion was relative motion. Our reference frame, the thing that we were comparing it to, the thing with respect to which we were seeing that motion was ground or earth. So that motion was relative motion. That velocity was relative velocity with respect to earth or ground. Can I have some raised hand that tell me that we have understood this concept, sir? Sir, this is not a new concept. No, relative motion is not a new concept. Motion and rest are always relative. They were always relative from the very beginning. The only thing is, always up till now, we had studied the motion with respect to Earth. But from now onwards, what will change? And why will it change? Why should I change it? I don't understand the logic. Everything was good here. Everything is good. We were studying everything with respect to Earth. Everything was happy. All were happy. We were getting simple equations. We were able to solve those simple equations. Why we have to change? Why we want to see some motion, not from Earth, but somewhere else? What is the reason? Why should I change? Why should I now see this body with respect to other body? Why would I see it? What's the benefit? There must be a benefit. There must be some really good reason behind why I should change. I can see everything from Earth. I will sit in a lawn, have a cup of juice, have some breakfast, and see the aeroplane flying, and I say, wow, what a nice aeroplane it is that. See, it has dropped a bomb, and this bomb is falling. I know that this is a horizontal projectile. The bomb is going to fall there. Let me have my tea. Let me have my coffee. What's the problem? Can anyone tell me why I have to now see things differently? Why Earth is not good enough? Earth is good enough. Yes. It's Mother Earth. It has given us birth. We're going to die one day on the same. Nothing will be left. Why I have to change the reference frame? Why I need to see things differently? Why will it help me? How will it help me? Let me try to give you a very simple example. Very simple example. Suppose you are in a bus. Why bus and train? Because we are always sitting in a bus or a train. Now, oops, this bus doesn't look good. It's a yellow bus. I don't like yellow bus. I will make a red bus. Red bus is also a website, no? Okay, so this is my bus. This is the horn or the light, whatever. These are the wheels. As I told you, I am very bad with diagrams, and that's why I did not appear in NEET medical exams. My time there was no need. So this is my bus. I think this will serve the purpose. I have to make the road as well. So this is my road, and my funny looking bus is moving. Now, imagine that a child is sitting inside a bus. You are the child. You are too old to be doing this. So he's having a ball. He's having a ball in his hand, and he's throwing the ball up and catching it. So he throws the ball up and he catches it. Throws the ball vertically up, catches it. Throws the ball up, catches it. He's playing a simple game. Now, There are two people who are observing this. They're very keen. The child is very cute. I don't know who is cute. I think all of you are cute. Let me take the name of someone. Hanak, because Hanak has given this thing. Hanak, Santosh, no. Hanak is cute. So he's a cute boy. Imagine a very small baby. Hanak is a very small baby and he's cute and he's playing with a ball. Ball is going up and everyone is watching. So there is one person. Oops, red one will not look good. And make it green. Okay, so there is one person who is watching this. And he loves Hanak. He is playing with the ball. What does he see? What does this person see? What is the motion of the ball to this person? Anyone? How will you see ball moving? How will you see ball moving? Anyone? Up and down. Yes, Santosh. Up and down. Very simple. You will see what Hanak as a kid is seeing. Ball goes up, Santosh. Ball comes down. Vertical. Yes, Reddy. Yashwant. Just very simple. The ball goes up, ball comes down. Ball goes up, ball comes down. Yes, Anjali, that is what you will see. If you are there, or you and Hanak must be the same age. So two same kids, two cute kids sitting and Anjali is also watching Hanak. Oh, Hanak is playing with the ball. She might also ask for this ball. Give me the ball, Hanak, and let's play with the ball. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is the motion is vertical. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Now imagine Santosh sitting on the roadside and having snacks with his mom. He also watches. Now, somehow imagine that this bus is all made up of glass and he can watch what is happening inside, sitting on the roadside, having snacks, cold drink, whatever he likes. He's also watching the same motion. Hanak playing with the ball goes up, ball goes down. The bus is definitely moving. Bus is not at rest. Okay, Deepak. Now you are also sitting in side by Deepak, the side of Santosh. What type of motion you and Santosh see? Yes, Hanak. Hanak knows what's wrong because Hanak is playing with the ball. Remember, so Hanak knows what these guys are seeing, but I want to know from these guys, or to all the other guys, apart from Anjali, who is in the bus, and Hanak, who is playing with the ball. The rest all of us, including me, are on the side. Anjali sees the ball up and down. Yes, Anjali, you are seeing the ball up and down because you are with Hanak in the bus. Vaini, you are also on the side with me. I probably have bought candies for all of you or ice cream, and you are having ice cream, and then you are trying to understand what is happening with Hanak. No, Deepak, we are not going to see the ball go up and down. No, not up and down. Hanak was correct. What we will see from ground is that the ball moving like this. It will follow the path of a projectile. It will follow the path of a projectile. Now it looks quite different. It looks, no sir, aisa nahi hoga. This will not be the case, but remember, when Hanak is throwing the ball up, he is throwing it with some velocity. But remember, this bus is also moving. So now this ball has two velocities, one horizontal. I should change the color of the pen. This ball has two velocities, one horizontal when I look from ground, ux, and the other one vertical, because vertical velocity is always there because Hanak is throwing it upwards. So I and the other kids, apart from Anjali and Hanak, who are in the bus, we see two velocities. Velocity of bus along x, velocity with which Hanak throws the ball along y. So we don't see a vertical motion. What motion do we see? Deepak, Vaini, we're all here on ground. What do we see? We see a parabolic motion. Yes, we see, Vahini, that it is going up and down. Yes, but it's also going forward. We see a parabolic path. For us, it's a parabola. Vahini, it's a parabola for us. Now, if I want to make this motion simplest, from where should I see this motion? Now, when I'm standing on ground, look at the beauty of physics. When I'm standing on ground, I am seeing the motion Hanak is in the bus, Anjali is in the bus, rest of us are on ground having ice creams. When we are sitting on ground, we are seeing the motion with respect to what? WRT means with respect to. So when we are on ground, we are seeing the motion with respect to ground. Wahini, don't be in the bus. I know you want to be in the bus with Anjali and Anna playing with the ball, but you are on ground. So you're watching the motion with respect to ground. Am I clear? And with respect to ground, how does the motion look? The motion looks a parabola. The motion looks like a parabola. Do we agree on this? Can I have raised hands from all the students who are on ground watching this motion, enjoying with ice cream and watching this parabola, ball falling a parabolic path, and Hanak, and we are saying, "Whoa, Hanak, you are doing a great trick. You are throwing the ball, and at the same time, when you reach forward, the ball comes into your hand. For us, it's a great magic trick. He's throwing the ball, and then without moving, he's catching it at someplace else. A magic trick. Hanak is doing a magic trick. Yeah, Hanak is in the bus, but he understands, na, beta. Hanak knows that the motion is relative. So Hanak is an intelligent kid, probably. We are not so intelligent, so we have to understand it. So Hanak is in the bus, he is raising his hand because he sees what to see. He's a good friend, but that is why, he understands all of his friends who are standing on ground having ice cream. He's not having an ice cream. He's having a bus, and he's in the bus and he's just playing with the ball. So all of us standing on ground see a parabola. But Hanak and Anjali see ball moving vertically up and down. Because they are watching the motion, they are watching the same motion with respect to what? Anjali and Hanak are seeing the motion with respect to what? Bus. Yes, Santosh. They are watching the motion with respect to bus. And for them, the motion is pretty damn simple. Ball goes up, ball comes down, ball goes up, ball goes come down. No parabola. They don't see a parabola. So from where does the motion become the simplest? From the bus. So if I want to make something simpler, I might have to change my reference frame. I might have to move from on the ground to on the bus to see the motion in a very simple fashion. And that is why we need to change our reference frame at some times to make our life easier. And when we do it, not with respect to Earth, but with respect to someone else, it becomes relative motion with respect to that someone. In this case, Anjali and Hanak are watching the motion with respect to bus. The others are watching the motion with respect to ground. Nothing changes. But since the reference has changed, the motion looks different. To the people in bus, it is simpler. To the people on ground, it is a bit difficult. It's parabola. But even for people on ground, it is relative motion. They are watching the motion with respect to ground. For people in bus, it is also relative motion because they are watching the motion with respect to bus. Einstein said, nothing in this universe is absolute. Everything is relative. So whenever we are watching motion or rest, it is relative motion. In this chapter, we will try to change our reference frame, change our way of watching the motion. Sometimes we'll watch it from ground, sometimes we'll watch it from bus, sometimes we'll watch it from here, and we will start calling it as relative motion. Am I clear? Do we all understand this? Then what is relative motion? The relative motion, nothing. The motion that we were studying up till now, that was also the relative motion. Okay, Chaturya, good to see you back. But that motion was with respect to ground. Now, apart from with respect to ground, we are also going to watch the motion with respect to someone else, to a bus, to a car, to a train. and see if it helps. If it doesn't help, we can go back to Earth and see all the motion from Earth. But trust me, the motion will be very difficult to see from Earth. See, I'll give you one more example and then you will understand, oh, this is really going to be tough. For example now, again, now you have a bus in the shape of a wedge. We call this wedge. We'll be seeing a lot of these wedges in the next chapter, which is motion, which is Newton's laws of motion. Now on this wedge, green wedge, so I have a green child. What should I call him? I'll call him with the first name, Arpit. Arpit is sitting here on this bus and he is playing with a ball. I like balls. So now he has a ball or a football and he rolls it. So how will the ball move? The ball will move like this, yes or no? Yes or no? The ball is rolling. But at the same time, this wedge is moving forward. This wedge is moving forward. Now imagine the motion of this ball. Someone is sitting on ground. Who will sit on ground now? Swati. Swati is the next one in line. So Swati sits on line. Swati is here. Swati, are you there? Swati is here. Swati is here. Having ice cream and watching the motion. Now, Arpit is here. He rolls the ball down. What sort of motion do we see? What he sees? How does the ball go? The wedge is moving, doesn't matter. He's on the moving wedge. How does he see the ball moving? He just simply sees that ball will move like this. Yes or no? Down the slope. That is how the ball will move for him. Why need? Do we agree? All of you, do we agree, Deepak? All of us may not be on the wedge. We are on ground together with Swati, watching the motion. But imagine what Arpit is seeing. Arpit is seeing the ball just roll down. Simple, as simple as this. But now imagine what all of us see. The motion to all of us is very complicated. No, it's not a parabola. It's not a parabola. It's different. The motion to all of us is very complicated. It consists of two motions. One is motion in the horizontal direction. The other is motion along the wedge like this. So what do we see is an addition of this motion, we call it motion 1, and addition of this motion, which we call as motion 2. And what we see would be a very complicated motion. So complicated that we will not be able to understand. We will not be able to imagine it. Imagination becomes difficult. But for Arpit, it's straight away falling down the plane. So from where should I watch this particular motion? Definitely not from ground. It becomes very complicated for me to watch it from ground. Where will I watch it from? Where will I watch it from? Where is the best place to watch this motion from? See, the best place to watch a cricket match is right in the stands that is just next to the pavilion. That is the best place to watch a cricket match. You see everything. You go to the left, you go to the right. The tickets are cheaper for IPL. I know you must be seeing IPL, Hyderabad. There must be IPL going around there. That is not the best place to watch that motion because you will not see the field. The best place is the pavilion stand, the stand that are right at the back. Here, the best place to watch this motion is definitely sitting on the top of this or on this wedge and seeing this motion. Right? Now I'll give you one more very typical motion. Imagine a wheel of your cycle. Imagine the wheel of your cycle. You know how the cycle moves. Ting, 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 ting. It also moves forward. Now imagine a point. Imagine a point A. Let us say right now it is at the bottom of the wheel. Imagine a point A which is right now at the bottom of the wheel. How will this wheel move? The wheel will rotate like this and it will move forward. Yes or no? It will move forward. It will also rotate. We call this velocity as angular velocity. we'll come to this angular velocity. The wheel rotates and the wheel also moves forward. Imagine the motion of this point. Trust me, when you grow older means after 3 or 4 months, 5 months, we'll be studying the motion of this point. We'll be doing it on similar lines. We'll be studying how this point A moves. Now try to imagine what will the motion of this point A, which is on ground right now, on the wheel, the lowest point on the wheel, what will be the motion of this point? And how and where is the best place to watch its motion from? From ground. It is known as a cycloidal path. No, Hanak, it's not circular. It's known as cycloidal path. Path that a cycle follows. Path that a point on the wheel of a cycle follows is known as cycloidal path. So the motion of this point from ground will be cycloidal path. It goes somewhere like this, not a parabola. It's a cycloid, not a parabola. Everything that is round is not circle or a parabola or an ellipse or an hyperbola. It can be something else. This is a cycloidal path. Cycloidal path, we call it. But there is one place, many places, infinite points, is one place. If you sit there, you will see the simplest possible motion. What is that place? Where I should sit and watch the motion of this point A, and it will be the simplest. On the cycle, yes, Vahini, on the cycle. Once you are on the cycle, or on the cycle means, let us sit here at the center of this wheel, just to make things simpler. On the cycle, again, then it might confuse you. But sitting at the center of the wheel is same as sitting on the cycle. See, Vahini, it's about imagination. Physics is about imagination. If you can't imagine, you won't be able to make new things in your life. To imagine it. Physics is imagination. And then you put that imagination into work and imagine you are sitting at the center of this wheel. Or, for that matter, Vahini wants to simplify it further. You're sitting on the cycle. Sitting on the cycle is same as sitting on the wheel, on the center of the wheel, because both of them will just move forward. Now, if you're sitting at the center of this wheel, how does the motion of this point appear? Everyone. You're sitting on the center of this wheel, or we are sitting on the top of the cycle. How will the motion of this point A appear to us? How will the motion of this point A appear to us? Yes, Teja, now it will be circular. You will just see the point A move in circle, 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 circle. Do we understand this, everyone? Can I have raised hand that we understand this? That I am going to lower all your hands. I'm going to lower all your hands. Do you understand? If you sit at the center of this wheel is rotating, but is also moving forward. You sit at the center of the wheel, that means you're also moving forward with the wheel. You're also moving forward with the wheel. You'll only see the point A moving in circles. And that is the reason that we have to understand what is relative motion. Because we'll have to understand a motion of this type in rotational chapter. We have to understand a motion of this type when you come in Newton's laws of motion. And we'll have to understand this motion right now in this chapter, such motion in this chapter. We'll have to see these motions. And that is why we call this chapter as relative motion. The better name would be relative motion with respect to other bodies, because from the very beginning, we were studying relative motion, but then that relative motion was with respect to our Charita. Beta, please send me message on the other ID. You are sending it on this ID. I can't see this ID. So up till now also, we were studying motion, but that motion was with respect to ground. Now the motion is going to be with respect to other bodies, because in this way, it would be simpler. Now, Let us go back. Let us go back and see the equations of motion in a new light. So now what I will write is I will write equations of motion. I will just write 3 or 4 of them. Equations of motion. Let me put it for constant acceleration. So I'm only concentrating on the equation of motion for constant acceleration. What was the first equation? Anyone tell me what was the first equation of motion for constant acceleration? We have done it so many times. So many times. Should be able to tell me. What was the first equation of motion? The very first equation of motion that we read, we have only read 2 or 3 things in life. V is equal to U. Hannah, which is this equation? V is equal to U. I don't recognize this. Yes, Santosh, I recognize this one. V is equal to U plus AT. Now, this equation is still valid. It is always valid for constant acceleration. But the correct way of writing this equation was, which we did not discuss in the first chapter. As I told you, that everything is done need to know basis. Do you remember this word that I told you ever? Need to know basis. Need to know basis. That means I'll only tell you that much that you require right now. Not a word more, not a word less. Need to know basis. We call it need to know basis. Okay, Deepak, you remember. Good one. They are following me. Great. Need to know basis. So we remember V is equal to U plus AT, but the original way, the correct way of writing this equation should be velocity with respect to ground, G standing for ground or earth, velocity with respect to ground, final velocity would be equal to initial velocity with respect to ground, acceleration with respect to ground. Am I making sense here? Do I make any sense here? Am I able to make you understand what was missing in the equation that we wrote in the very beginning and why we did not do it? Because I did not want to make your life very complicated from the very beginning. Only 9 people have understood this. Not good, not good, not good, not good. Venkatesh, Praveen, Sashank, Sai Tarun, Manasa, Tarun, God, Vijay, Tarun, Garikapati, roll number 2108, Harshita, Surendra, Siddharth, Sana, Sharda, Reddy, Yashwant, where are you, beta? Rakesh, Pranay Goli, I don't see you, Padmakan, Naidu, Ramesh, Ganesh, Sanjay, Dinesh, Likita, Yashwant, Shashank, Kevin, Josana, Jayashankar, no responses today, Jagdish, Govardhan, I think you are for the first time, Sai Tarun, Bhavna, Bhanu, I hardly see you, beta, Ashish, Venu. Okay, now I'll again add one more thing. When we were studying these velocities, this was velocity of any car or bus or bike or bullet or ball, the velocity of somebody. So let me write this word A. A means that body. I'll call it A, B, because alphabet starts from A, so everything is A. Velocity of A, somebody, with respect to ground. V stands for final velocity. And I'm not using vector sign here. Instead of vectors, what we are using? These are vectors, but I'm not using vector sign. Instead of vectors, what I'll be using here? What I'll be using here in case of vectors? Because again, if I write vectors, the things look complicated. What will I use instead of vectors? A sign. Letters, and instead of vectors, a sign. Instead of vectors for direction, yes, Hannah, I'll be using plus and minus. Something goes here, plus, something goes here, minus, something goes up, plus, something goes here, minus. You all remember that, don't we? You remember that, no? Plus, minus, forward, backwards, upward, downwards. Okay. So, final velocity of A, this is how I see it, V. Final velocity of A with respect to ground. Final velocity of A with respect to ground. So you can imagine if I would have written this equation in this fashion, it would have been very confusing. Right now, probably it makes more sense. Velocity, final velocity of A with respect to ground will be equal to what? Can anyone tell me? Final velocity of A with respect to ground will be equal to what? It will be equal to initial velocity of A with respect to ground plus acceleration of A with respect to ground multiplied by time. This is how we should have called this equation in the very first place, but I hope you can imagine if I would have written it in this fashion, it would have given you more headaches rather than solving any doubt. Now, is it making sense? I will just, since it is of prime importance for me that you understand the meaning of the symbols now, it's very important for me to realize that you have understood this. Surendra has raised his hand, so only Surendra has understood this. What about the others? I'm waiting for responses from the other guys. Guys means girls as well. Only 12 participants seem to have understood this. Veronica, Padmakant, Rahul, Rakesh, Reddy, Sana, Hachita, Shashank, Praveen, Venkatesh, where are you? Manasa, Tarun, Vijay, Vansa, you're not speaking. Saina, Tikita, Shashank, Kevin, Saitarun, Ashish, Venu, Maruti. Okay. Velocity of final velocity of A with respect to ground will be initial velocity of A with respect to ground plus acceleration of A with respect to ground multiplied by T. What would be my equation number 2? Can you now tell me my equation number 2 in similar way, in similar respect? Can you tell me what would be my equation number 2? Equation number 2 was delta R. I always write it delta R because I forget what is displacement. Delta R equates U T plus half A T square. How should I write it now? What it actually meant? Can anyone tell me what it actually meant? It was displacement with respect to ground, initial velocity with respect to ground, acceleration with respect to ground, but we were talking about some body, some bullet, some bus, some ball, something. I call that something as A, right? A and A. And now I said, yes, Santosh, we have done a exceptional job of writing everything in that fashion. It might have given you some trouble, but that trouble is worth of it because now we understand that displacement of A, yes, Chaturi Teja, that is correct. Yes, Anak, that is correct. S, you can write S for displacement, no problem. I can't remember displacement is change of position vector. If you remember it, you can write as displacement of A with respect to ground is equal to U, initial velocity of A with respect to ground multiplied by time plus half acceleration of A with respect to ground multiplied by T square. Again, I wanted to make things simpler. That's why I did not write this equation in this form. Equation number 3 is what we are looking at. Equation number 3 is what we are looking at. And the equation was like this: V squared is equal to U squared plus 2 times delta R multiplied by A. Now, how should this equation would have been written properly? Velocity with respect to ground, U with respect to ground, displacement with respect to ground, acceleration with respect to ground. Again, we would be talking about some body. Let us call that body as A. A, 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 and it becomes a painful act of saying this thing in terms of A, but I will try. Final velocity of A with respect to ground ka squared. Final velocity of A with respect to ground ka squared is equal to initial velocity of A with ground ka squared plus 2 times displacement of A with respect to ground multiplied by acceleration of A with respect to ground. I hope I have not made a mistake and I have said it the simplest. It's not the simplest, does not look like the simplest, but this makes sense. I hope it makes sense to everyone. There was one more equation that we had talked about, which is my favorite. It was average velocity. Average velocity is V plus U divided by 2. Again, this would have been written like this with respect to ground, this with respect to ground, this with respect to ground, this, and oops, this A. I forgot to put A. Am I clear? So this is how the equation should have been written in the first case, but it would have looked very complicated. And that is why we did not write them. Am I clear? Right. Right. Now, this equation should be written with proper sign conventions, plus, minus, plus, minus. We all know this. This is the original way of writing the original equation of motion with respect to ground. Now let us apply some common sense. See, physics is all about common sense. Let us apply some common sense and write equation of motion of A. A means that object, that body, with respect to B, new object, new body, new bus, new car, new train. Let us write this equation for constant acceleration. Seems like an impossible task. We have not talked about anything of relative motion. I have just told you what is relative motion, and now I'm expecting you to write the equation straight away. Looks like a big task. Is it a big task? See, you must remember, beta, whatever hurdles come in your life, whatever you have to face in your life, if you never give up, if you don't say no, don't say I can't do it, you say I can do it, you can do it. What we have discussed in relative motion is just going back. See, I've drawn some way diagram, some cycle ka paiya and some point A. Arpit and Sweta sitting and standing. Anjali, Hannah in the bus, rest of all on the ground. I made some stupid, given you some wayward explanations. And now I expect you, see, I'm such a fool. What should I say? Selfish person that I have not taught you anything, but I now expect. Now I expect that you will write the equation of motion of A with respect to B. Can you do that? Hannah has already done it. Well done, beta. You have done it. See, I have not taught you anything, but still you can do it because you are good enough to understand it. You are good enough to understand it. The first equation, how does it look like? V. See, I can't change the first equation. That remains the first equation. V is equal to U plus A multiplied by T. Now just put the things that you know. And what will be the things that you know? Hanak has done it. So Hanak, since you have done it and you are the one who was playing with the balls, where is Hanak? I'll allow you. Hanak has disappeared all of a sudden. Hanak gave me the answer and he has disappeared. Not good. Anyone has written the equation? Hanak is here. Hanak, I've asked you to unmute. Tell me what does the equation look like now?
Final velocity of object A with respect to B equals to
Hannah, slowly. I'm an old person. I can't write so fast, beta. I have a very small brain. Please give me some time to write. Yes, tell me. Slowly.
final velocity of object A with respect to B
AB,
equals
okay.
to
Okay.
initial velocity of object A with respect to B plus acceleration of object A with respect to B multiplied by time.
Very good, Hannah. And that is what the equation looks like. Yes, Deepak, that is correct. Hannah was also correct. What about the others? Did we hear Hannah? Did we see what Deepak has done? Are we there on the same bus as well? In the same bus right now means that are we able to understand this without even knowing anything about relative velocity? Can we write this equation? Only 5 people, only 8 people has said yes, not good enough. Venkatesh, Praveen, Sashank, Manasa, Vijay, Tarun, Harshita, Sindhe, Siddharth, Sana, Sai, Yashwant, Kunde, Goli, Padmakan, Sanjay, Dinesh, Sainath, Likita, Kevin, Josana, Jagdish. Where are you guys? Sai Tarun, Ashish, Venu, Maruti, Anil. Okay, I have raised some hopes. What about equation number 2? How will equation number 2 look like? How will equation number 2 look like? Let me see who gives me the answer first. So I'll give him a chance. Hanak has taken his chance, so Hanak will not get a chance now. Deepak has come up with an answer, and now I will ask Deepak to unmute yourself. Where is Deepak? Where is Deepak? Where is Deepak? Unmute yourself and tell me how the equation looks like. Deepak. Delta R
of A with respect to B
of A with respect to B, well done,
is
equal to
initial velocity of A with respect to B
of A with respect to B, great,
multiplied by T plus half into
half
A
into A
half into acceleration of A with respect to B multiplied by T square.
Well done, Deepak. Thanks for helping me out here. Delta R of A with respect to B of initial velocity of A with respect to B multiplied by T plus half acceleration of A with respect to B into T square. We come on to equation number 3. Let me see who gives me the answer for this one. Deepak and Hannah will not get a chance now, but they should also do the question. Now the baton passes on to someone else who has given me the correct answer. Let me see who is that. Let me see who is that. Where is the chat? Teja, Chaturya Teja has given me the first correct answer. So I will now ask Chaturya Teja. Yes, beta. Tell me how to do it.
Final velocity A with respect to B square
Okay, great.
equals to initial velocity from A to B
not
square
from A to B, not from A to B. Of A with respect to B, beta. Say it in correct way.
plus 2 delta R A with respect to B into acceleration A with respect to B.
Well done, beta. Nice. It takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of courage to come and speak in front of so many people, and you have done exceedingly well, all of you. Teja, Deepak, Hanak, I'm so proud of you guys. Well done, beta. Keep it up. Now, the last chance for everyone to give me for this one average velocity. I'm waiting and I'll see who has given me the first correct answer. Let me see. And it is Vahini. So Vahini now gets a chance. Where is Vahini? Wahini. She's quite down. Vahini, I don't see her. Where did she disappear? Vahini. Okay, Vahini. Now you tell me how to do it. Unmute yourself. I think she can't do it probably. Let me see who's next. Okay, beta. Okay, she's having some problem. Let me see who is next. Who is next? Teja, I can't give you a chance. You have already spoken. Who else has done this? Santosh will do it. So Santosh, I'm giving you the chance. Where is Santosh? Where is Santosh? Santosh, speak.
Average velocity with respect to A with respect to B equals to
A with respect to B is equal to
initial velocity A with respect to B
initial velocity of A with respect to B
plus final velocity with respect to B
final velocity of A with respect to B
by 2.
divided by 2. And that is how the equations look like. We have seen all the four equations. We have seen the original form of all the four equations. In the original form of all the four equations were written with respect to ground. We did not say it then. We are saying it now. Facts does not change. Fact was there at that time. It was with respect to ground. It remains the same. It is respect to ground. Now I've stated this in the equation itself. The equation might look complicated. Trust me, that is the correct way of Hannah says the equation looks beautiful. Okay. See, beauty in physics is you doing something with intent, with passion, with truth in your heart, and that thing will be reflected in the equation. Now the equations are perfect. They are perfect. The only thing is missing is a vector sign, and I'm always compelled to use a vector sign, but I've seen that as soon as I use the vector sign, students start to get confused. That's why I'm using plus and minus. Now, with the help of you guys, without even telling you everything, giving you vague examples of cycle and tire and bus and wedges, you're able to tell me the equations of A with respect to B without even understanding what does that mean, but you understand it, and I'll prove it to you in the next class. I'll be giving you random questions and you will be able to solve them without knowing anything about relative velocity. So that would be in the next class. That will be tomorrow. Be ready. It's going to be an exciting one because we are going to do exciting things and see how simple things become once we get into relative velocity. On that note, I will end today's class here. I hope you enjoyed the class and you will stay happy, healthy, and safe. Bye-bye from my end.